essential part of gardening right here.
Let it go, all that I've ever known.
This rack allows me to play with the height of the plants so I can keep them growing all year round technically. Which brings us to the lighting. The lighting that I chose, and probably look this up because that's what this whole thing is. I'm really glad I did all this research ahead of time. I got myself a 40. Yes, that's not the button I needed. The lights that I ended up deciding on for my grow lights are called Barina grow lights. They're 96 watts, and I ended up buying, how many of these? And I ended up buying 6 of these, 2 for each area, 2 for each dome. And then I bought an additional one over here once I started moving plants over to the other rack. All of the stuff I'm talking about today and every video is going to be linked down in the description. Just click on that link and it'll bring you to a separate webpage where I have listed all the items that I've bought and recommend for the whole process of the gardening. And these are things that I have bought, and I'm not gonna recommend anything on this list that I bought and ended up not using because I think that's stupid. So anything on this list is something that I've bought, I've used, and I have seen success out of that purchase. Link down in the description. These are Amazon affiliated links, so they don't cost anything extra to you, but it does give me a couple cents per purchase, which really helps us out, so I really appreciate that so much. That's it, that's the end of the advertisement. Let's get back to the video. These lights came highly recommended from different Redditors, from websites that I read, from reviews on YouTube. I did a lot of research on the lighting because as you might know, lighting is a really important thing. And if you've watched any of my business videos, you know how important lighting is to any video. But if you're actually growing something, lighting is even more important because you're not just worried about how it looks. You're worried about how it grows. And grow lights have things in them called UVBs. And UVB is the B, like you're taking vitamin B in your own dietary supplements. This is what plants need to grow. This is what life needs to grow. If you've ever had a reptile or an amphibian as a pet, you know you have to get a UVB light over everything. But plants don't just require, man, there are bugs everywhere. So if you see me swatting at stuff, I'm not going crazy, I'm just getting a bug out of my face. So grow lights are really important. Granted, I don't know all the scientificness that I probably need to know to talk about it, to educate about it, but the important thing you need to know is you need a reputable, good light. And if anything, what it boils down to is going to be good soil, good lighting, and seeds. That's basically what you need. Oh, and heat. Good lights, good soil, heat, seeds. So good lighting is going to help a tremendous amount. Aside from the soil, your light is the life source of a plant. So by having good lights, you're actually doing your plants a ginormous service from the very beginning. And throughout this video series, you're going to see my plants grow exceptionally fast. And we will go over that in a second. But lighting is really important. Also, placement of lighting is really important. You want your lights about 6 to 12 inches above your plant. From this top plant right here, I don't know if you can see this, from this top plant right here is roughly about that tall, so about 8 inches above. These down here, it's a little farther away. They're still growing strong, and I should have this light like right about here and this light right about here, but I'm not that insane about it. I'm just having fun with this. And I'm at the stage right now in my process, way far in the future from the series you're watching, that if these don't survive, I'll be a little bummed, but I also know that that's okay. And that's something that I really learned throughout this series was it's okay to say goodbye to some of the plants. You know, some of the plants you get so attached to because they're doing so good and they grow so strong, and then they just stop being, like just die overnight, and it's such a bummer. For instance, look at this guy right here. That's a bummer. Like if I were to see this outside, I would say this plant's dead, there's no hope for it, throw it away. But if you've learned what I've learned over this year, I'm going to crop this right here, and I'm gonna cut this right here, and we're gonna keep this going. And I'm willing to bet it might not come back in full, but I'm willing to bet it does come back a little bit because of what I've learned this year. All right, and that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for joining us on our garden adventure. Make sure you like and subscribe because it makes me feel fuzzy inside. If you do have any questions, put them down in the comments. Now, while I don't know everything, I am always happy to help out where I can. So ask questions, I will help, and hopefully other people will be watching this video too, and they can answer your questions as well. Join us next time watching the main series, which is the real adventure, and then watching the 0.5 series, which is the explainer videos, because I didn't do a good enough job during the first taping. I had to do it again. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.